I had these dreams last fall and I didn't share them at the time, but I'm going to share them now. In one of the dreams, I was with somebody else in a car and we were getting dropped off somewhere. And we were asked if we needed a ride or if we were okay now, and we said we were fine. And so we got out of the car and the car left. And then suddenly I said, wait a minute, we need that ride home because we don't have any other way of getting home. And so I ran after the car and stopped the car, and the driver said, okay, I'll be back to pick you up in 72 hours, and it left again. And me and my friend were left at this place. The best way I can describe it is it was sort of had the atmosphere of a summer camp, and not a nice one. My experience with summer camps isn't very pleasant, and this was also not a pleasant place to be. There was one man in particular that was making our life really difficult, but I thought it's just for 72 hours, it's just for a short time, and we can endure this. It's okay, we'll be all right. And that dream ended. And I also had a series of maybe two or three other dreams that night. And in these dreams, the best way I can describe them is it was like I was in a generic 80s action movie. I was one of the good guys, and it was all of the plot set up at the beginning of the movie. And then just as the action was about to start, like, you'd be confronting the bad guys and you'd be standing there, and just as you would expect the action to start, the dream would just abruptly end, and then the next dream would start. And I say 80s action movie partly because of, it was so generic, and partly because I remember specifically sitting in the car and looking at my watch, and I don't usually wear a watch, but it was old style 80s digital watch, and I can't remember what time was on it. I tried to remember, but I don't know. So those were the dreams. So there's two different themes here. There's being dropped off and having to endure something unpleasant for a short period of time. I don't know if the 72 hours is literal or it just represents some short period of time. I don't know. But being put in a situation where you have to endure something unpleasant, but knowing that you're going to be picked up and brought home, and it's not something that you can do yourself. We had no way of getting home by ourselves, but we were going to be picked up. And then you've got this other theme of this action that's developing, and all of the plot is being set up, but the real action hasn't really started yet, and it's just abruptly ends. So You know, there have been times where since I've had these dreams, where I'm going through something sort of difficult, and I just tell myself, well, this isn't going to last forever. Even if I have to endure something that's unpleasant, there'll be an end to it. And so I think it's the same sort of thing right now. Even though what we're going through is unpleasant, it's not going to last forever. It will come to an end. And I believe God will take care of us, and He'll give us peace, and we'll be okay.